Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, December 11th, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. And make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Seattle Seahawks vs Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, 4-8, 6-6 Austrian shillings, are coming off a bye, looking for their second straight victory and the first away from home in 2022. They sandwiched a 13-3 defeat at the Baltimore Ravens with a couple of wins over the Atlanta Falcons 25-15 and Denver Broncos 23-10. Back in Week 12, the Panthers outlasted the Broncos as 1-point home underdogs, outgaining their rivals 349-246 in total yards. Sam Darnold got his first start of the season and tossed for 164 yards and a touchdown, completing 11 of his 19 passing attempts. He also scored once on his own. The Panthers tortured the Broncos on the ground and posted 46 carries for 185 yards. D'Onta Foreman led the way for Carolina with 24 totes for 113 yards, while Chuba Hubbard had 17 rushing attempts for 65 yards. The Panthers released Baker Mayfield last Monday. Sam Darnold will get another starting call in Week 14, and PJ Walker will serve as a backup QB. Walker has thrown for 731 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions through 6 appearances so far this season. Carolina will continue to lean on its ground game. D'Onta Foreman has surpassed a 100-yard mark on the ground in 4 of the last 6 games. Foreman missed Wednesday's practice due to a foot injury, but should be available for Sunday's clash against Seattle. The Panthers are 2 games behind the NFC South leading Tampa Bay. Somehow, Carolina is still alive in the title race. Metcalf finished with 8 catches for 127 yards and a TD. Tyler Lockett added 9 receptions for 128 yards and a touchdown, while Geno Smith threw for 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. The Seahawks will be in trouble if Kenneth Walker doesn't suit up due to an ankle injury. Their passing offense is good enough to put some points on the board, but the Seahawks will struggle to beat Carolina without a strong ground game. On the other side, the Panthers are coming fresh off a bye, so I'm backing them to keep it close, even though I don't trust Sam Darnold at all. The Panthers will look to run the ball as much as possible, as the Seahawks' run D is one of the worst in the NFL. Seattle allows 155.3 rushing yards per game, 31st in the league, and 4.9 yards per carry, tied 23rd. On the other side, the Panthers' defense ranks 25th in rushing yards allowed, 135.7, and 14th in passing yards allowed, 212.5. Carolina is 5-1 ATS in its last 6 games overall. Take Carolina Panthers plus 3.5 points. The Panthers are brutal on the road this season. They have been outscored by 51 points on the road, and they have a record of 0-5 straight up away from Carolina. The Seahawks are 3-2 straight up at home. Smith has been a lot more comfortable as a quarterback at home than on the road. The Carolina pass defense has been struggling this season, as the Seahawks will try to exploit that all afternoon. Seattle's defense has been letting opposing offenses earn chuck yards, but with Darnold at quarterback, it is doubtful if the Panthers will be able to exploit that part of the game. I am not buying Darnold and the Panthers. They played a hapless Broncos team at home and scored only 2 touchdowns against them. The Panthers are 1-4 against the spread versus a team with a winning record. The Panthers are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 meetings in Seattle. Take Seattle to cover. Los Angeles Chargers vs Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, 8-4, 6-6 ATS, put an end to their 5-game winning streak in Week 13. They lost 33-17 at the San Francisco 49ers, failing to cover a 5-point spread at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Tua Tagovailoa had a bad day in the office, throwing a ton of inaccurate passes, and the Dolphins ran just 8 times for a paltry 33 yards. Also, the Dolphins lost the turnover battle 4-1 and kept the ball in possession for only 19-26. Tagovailoa went 18 of 33 for 295 yards and a couple of touchdowns and interceptions. Tyreek Hill had 9 receptions for 146 yards and a touchdown, while Jalen Waddle caught one of his 5 targets for 9 yards. Waddle suffered a fibula injury that limited the second-year wideout to 24 snaps, and he's questionable to play against the Chargers. After hitting a 30-point mark in 4 straight outings, the Finns' offense finally slowed down in Week 13. Now, Miami is scoring 24.9 points per game, 8th in the NFL, on 290.5 passing yards, 2nd, and 89.7 rushing yards, 28th. The Dolphins surrender 24.1 points in a return, 25th, on 233.5 passing yards, 21st, and 110.5 rushing yards, 9th. Jalen Waddle was a limited participant in Wednesday's practice. The Dolphins listed 13 players on the injury report, including left tackle Terron Armstead, toe, pectoral, who's in danger of missing his 2nd straight game. Tagovailoa was limited due to an ankle injury, but he'll be ready to go Sunday against Los Angeles. After snapping a 2-game skid with a 25-24 victory at the Arizona Cardinals in Week 12, the Los Angeles Chargers, 6-6, 7-5 ATS, returned to losing ways last Sunday, suffering a 27-20 defeat as 2.5-point road underdogs at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers had a 10-0 lead early in the second quarter and a 13-10 lead at the break, but the Raiders scored 17 straight points in the second half to keep their playoff hopes alive. Los Angeles gained 386 total yards and yielded 404 to the Raiders. The Chargers racked up just 72 rushing yards on 22 totes, while Justin Herbert went 28 of 47 for 335 yards and a touchdown. Herbert was sacked 5 times, and the Chargers once more struggled to strike the right balance offensive-wise. The Chargers are banged up, but they'll have enough firepower to keep it close against the Dolphins, whose passing defense has struggled for most of the season. On the other side, Miami cannot expect to beat the Chargers through the air, and Jalen Waddle's injury is a huge blow for the Dolphins' offense. Los Angeles is yielding 5.4 yards per carry, but Miami will struggle to take full advantage of the Chargers' run defense. The Dolphins are 3-6 ATS in their last 9 games overall, while the Chargers are 4-2 ATS in their previous 6 home contests played on Sunday. The Chargers are 1 game behind the final wild card spot in the AFC and desperately need a win over Miami. Los Angeles Chargers plus 3.5 points. The Chargers have the right pieces on offense, but have not been able to truly put it all together this season. They rank outside the top 10 in scoring and are 2nd worst in the league in rushing yards per game with 84.7. However, their passing attack is solid, with 266.5 yards gained through the air per game on average, 6th in the league. Justin Herbert has completed exactly 2/3 of his passes for 3,339 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Although the statistics suggest a slight regression on his end, Herbert is still producing solid numbers while also playing through a nagging injury. Austin Eckler is the leading rusher on the squad with 589 yards on 138 carries and 7 touchdowns. He is also leading the team in receptions, 85, touchdown receptions, 5, and is 2nd in receiving yards on the year, 564. Joshua Palmer has stepped up as the receiver with the most yards on the team, 612, and 2nd in receptions, 57. Second-year head coach Brandon Staley has been known for his bold decisions, especially on offense. However, he failed to lead his team to the playoffs last year, and if he fails again, he might be on the hot seat. These are 2 talented offenses that will feast on the opposition's defense on primetime. Los Angeles has been riddled with injuries on the defensive end, and the Dolphins weren't able to contain Brock Purdy and the 49ers' offense last week. I expect the drives to result in more scores towards the latter stages of the game as the defense gets worn out more and the momentum results in a shootout. It will be much tougher to commit to the run, and it will eventually result in who can sling it the best in the fourth quarter. The Dolphins have put up at least 30 points in 3 of their last 4 games, and they have hit the over in their last 4 road games in a row. The Chargers have hit the over in 10 of their last 12, after suffering a loss the previous week, 5 of their last 6 versus a team with a winning record. Take the over, 52.5 points.